Okay, yeah, let's get to a main topic for this week's show. And that is I wanted to talk about Doom because it came out last Friday.
Yeah.
So after we recorded last week, advanced review copies weren't sent out. We've all had a chance. I think you finished it, Mark.
Oh, no, I've not finished.
You're not finished. Okay, so none of us have finished.
No.
But so where are you?
I am. Have you guys met Olivia Pierce?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm like a little bit after that.
I think I just got there.
Okay. So
Okay.
we're all,
Like
me and you are
you
somewhat
press
close.
the button and there's it reveals a lady, right?
Yeah, so I just finished
okay.
that really weird stage where it's like you have to climb to the top of just what you needed, a vertical like platforming level.
Right.
But it's actually handled pretty well.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun. So
The
I'm
Ardent Tower.
Yeah, so I'm on the level after that level.
Hell.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
Spoilers.
No, I literally finished the level and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, you
like I
save
was
and
done for the
exit,
night.
yeah.
So that was the last thing I remember doing.
Yeah, so I'm just past that as well.
Okay.
And so you're near there too.
I think I'm there, close there.
close to there.
But then I played on the stream with Naomi yesterday for 2 hours, who was past that.
Okay.
Actually in hell. So I've seen like the Barons and all that stuff.
Right. So none of us have finished. That's the caveat. But this is a game. Everybody at Judges Week was talking about it last week.
Yeah.
Partially because it's a new release. Partially because there's a lot to talk about because either it is a game that seems to engender strong feelings one way or the other, and I think most of those strong feelings have been very, very positive so far. What do you think of it so far, Destin?
So a lot of people have been extremely positive about it, almost to the point where I'm just like, I don't know if we're playing the same game. I like Doom.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. It's fun. It's a shooter, but it's getting a lot of praise for like its upgrade system and the collectibles that you want to get and stuff like that, and how they
the
handle
little toys, those things are so
Yeah,
cool.
the little toys.
Yeah.
It's neat, but I'm like, it's not necessarily as revolutionary as people are saying. And I like it. I'm enjoying finding the collectibles and grabbing the stuff and upgrading my guns. I like the systems that are in place. I don't really understand why people seem to think it's so fantastic, though. I'm like, it's good. I don't know that it's special.
Sure.
I think it's because I agree it is good. We'll talk more about why, but I think people are very high on it, and because it's refreshing in the sense that it is taking what was old and making it new again, and making the new look kind of old. You know what I mean? Like, because it really does. It does a great job. It's impossible to just recapture the original Doom.
Right.
Like, that's just not a thing that's possible. It was a game from 1993. Everything's changed since then, and you just can't make that same thing. If you did, it wouldn't be any good, probably. But what it does really well is it just takes the sort of spirit of it, that pushing the action. What I like about it is that most games, most shooters now, you get banged up in battle and you kind of like retreat back behind something and then maybe try to just pick your way, like just pop out and pick guys
This
off.
game
Now
does
it's
not,
like,
there's
this game-
no point in doing that.
If you're almost dead, you got to go kill something.
Right.
Yeah.
It actually, the design forces you to actually move closer in.
Yeah.
And like, okay, crap, I'm almost dead. I need health.
Yeah.
How can I get health? Find the biggest enemy in the fight.
Yeah.
Take it out, and do the glory kill on it, and you'll get a font of health
the
explode.
fountain of health.
Yeah, health candy.
That is definitely an aspect I really, really enjoy about Doom, that it does push the action.
Yeah.
They did that very well.
Well, let me take you for a walk. Pack a lunch.
I'm
So
with you.
in 2013, a game came out called Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
Hail to the king,
not a
baby.
great. I knew that was coming. Not a great game. And the point of that game was like it was going to be a blast from the past. And he makes fun of Halo armor and he makes fun of puzzles, but yet he does all those things. It has a regenerating shield in the game.
Right.
You're only allowed to carry 2 weapons.
Yeah.
Which one is the boss weapon, so you're actually only allowed to carry 1 weapon, and then you do all these sorts of puzzles, and it's like Doom, I think, is that blast from the past that everybody is waiting for.
Yeah.
Because it's like is so awesome. He had to like turn off these things, and the guy's like, "This is how you have to turn it off," and he just kicks his leg up and just crushes it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like anytime anything's like a machine's talking to him, he just like throws it into the wall. And,
Oh, yeah.
And then the whole like non-regenerating health.
Yeah.
The fact that even on consoles they figured out a great way to make it where you can carry a full arsenal of weapons and you could switch.
Yeah,
really
the
fast.
weapon wheel's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those things. I think it's like you play 2013 2013 Duke Nukem, and you're like, this is not good. This is not a blast from the past. Where I think Doom is a blast from the past that is a blast to play.
It's been modernized.
I think an interesting difference is that Duke Nukem Forever was it is literally made. It's not a modern game. It's not a modern game. It's not a modern take on classic gameplay. It's an old game that just happened to come out because it took 13 years to make. Whereas Doom is a game made now, but in the spirit of that. And it's funny you bring up Duke because, the fact that Doom is kind of self-aware and a little cheeky. The stuff you're talking about, where he crushes the panels instead of just flipping them off. Flipping the switches off. I've actually found myself I brought Jose Otero with me to the Judges Week, and he brought his PS4, and we spent the nights playing Doom after everything was over. Yeah, just because the PS4 travels, it's the easiest thing to travel with, system wise. And so he was about actually in the same spot we're all talking about. So it's funny, we're all kind of right in the same place. And as he's playing, I kind of found myself sort of in that vibe of cheekiness. He would smash dudes and monster heads, and I just started doing Duke impressions and just saying shit.
See, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, am I the only one comparing this to Duke Nukem? Because I'm getting that
something
vibe.
to that. But yeah,
I definitely thought of it.
Jose and I were just playing, and I was like, he's not getting up from that one. I don't know why I felt compelled to do that, because it makes Duke has nothing to do with the new Doom, but
you definitely get that vibe. Even the weapon upgrades, he puts his gun in and then smashes the thing away, because it's an awesome game.
Yeah, and
it's all about attitude.
Yeah,
it is, and it's interesting that to go kind of behind the scenes on the process of the lead up to Doom's release. As we talked about, we warned everybody last week, there were no advance review copies sent out of Doom. Now, don't cry for us. It's oh, you didn't get your free game early? Oh, wah. But whenever that happens, we were careful not to judge. You notice if you listen back to last week's show, because that's not fair. But history has taught us that if, like a film that doesn't get screened ahead of release, if a game is not screened ahead of release either, if review copies aren't sent out, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's not always the case, but that's often not a good sign.
Well, it's like the Assassin's Creed Unity thing, where we did get the game early, but the embargo was 12 hours after the game came out. And you're like, this is really weird.
Yeah, and so I'll tell you, my worry when that, because I was all set to review Doom. I was very much looking forward to it. Doom was. I was talking to Jose at the airport yesterday on our way back, and there've been a very small few number of just utterly transformative games in my life where there's been everything before that game and everything after that game. The original Super Mario Brothers, of course, because that was my first. And then Doom was one of those games, and Grand Theft Auto 3 was one of those games. And so Doom has always meant so much to me that I was really looking forward to reviewing the new Doom, because I figured one way or the other, I have such history with this that I'm going to have something to say about this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Either I'm going to
come in full circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Either I'm going to be championing the hell out of it, yes, this did a great job, or I'm going to be nope, this is why this doesn't live up to the originals and doesn't whatever the case was going to be. I knew I would have something to say about that game, so I was really looking forward to reviewing it. But because I was leaving for the Judges Week on Monday and we didn't get the game until Friday.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it, which just professionally made me sad to do. Yeah. But it's interesting that the game has been, in fact, very well received overall.
Yeah.
I think the reason people are going a little, to answer your question from earlier, why we're going a little overboard, is when we were allowed to play the beta, we only got multiplayer.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of us thought that's what the game was going to be.
People weren't so hot on the multiplayer.
Yeah, and that's ended up, the game comes out, and we hadn't seen much single player. The game comes out, and it's actually the single player that really makes that game.
Yeah.
And so I think most of it's just being pleasantly surprised that the single player is so good.
Yeah.
That it's it's just much better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because it's I think we were because we were trying to analyze, like, why aren't they sending this out? You know, why didn't they send it out ahead of time? And especially after it comes in and does get very well received. We're thinking, okay, well, so publishers do this thing. This is another like weird behind the scenes thing. Publishers do a thing called mock reviews.
Yes.
Where when their game is almost done, they actually hire freelance writers to come in,
give you a heads up,
and actually review the game, and they write something up and they give it a score, and so that publishers kind of have an idea, a general idea of how a game's going to do. So we were all kind of thinking, okay, well, the mock, like, they've been running this. They've been trying to build up their hype. You know, they're getting all their pre-orders. They've been releasing all those great trailers that we've been praising the heck out of. Like, their trailers have been so well cut together. We were kind of thinking, okay, well, if they're not sending it out, that must mean it's been mock reviewing in like the 60s or 70s, and they're afraid that having those reviews out, people will cancel their pre-orders. And then it turns out like we all really like it.
Yeah.
So. I mean, the IGN review is a 7.1, which is on the lower side. So far I feel better about it than that. I mean, I don't think I'm disrespecting our reviewer who's out of Australia by saying, but again, caveat: none of us have finished the game yet.
Right.
Maybe this this awesome action gets super dull by hour 8 or 9.
Have either
we don't
of you
know.
even jumped in the multiplayer yet? Besides what we played in the
not
beta?
since the beta.
Not
in the new release.
Since I've been playing retail, I've not even touched the multiplayer or SnapMat. I haven't tried that either.
Right, and which apparently you can do some neat stuff with. So
I hear it's really cool.
But in any case, it's so we may feel differently, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of the classic one that the internet loves to always remind me about is Alien Isolation. A lot of people on this team. On IGN felt very, very differently about Alien Isolation than I did, but it's, the review, yes, it speaks for the outlet, but it's one person's opinion, and it's healthy and normal for us to feel differently about things. So in the end, my only real worry, and this is how it affects people watching or listening, is that Doom being very well received and not having advanced review copies sent out will sort of set a precedent, and publishers will start not sending the games out. And that's, I mean, yes, it's bad for us, but what's unfortunate about that then is if there are no reviews out there for our audience, then they don't necessarily have any idea when a game is coming out. So I hope all the publishers aren't going to follow the lead, because
I think Doom is totally a fringe case.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, Fallout was kind of the same way. We got it pretty late, so yeah.
Yeah. Alana's peeking in.
Do you want me to come in?
We don't
just gotta grab a chair, gotta grab a mic.
That's too much effort. Have fun.
All right, fair enough. We'll see you next week. Bye. Alana Pierce, everyone, making her off-mic cameo that you probably couldn't even hear. Anyway, so I think that was it for our Doom chat anyway.
Yeah.
So far so good. To recap, so far
We're
so
all
good.
liking it.
Love it.
We're all
Good
liking
stuff.
it. It's very refreshing. People have been asking me on Twitter, should I buy it? Should I buy it? I'm not done with it yet.
Yeah.
But I will say through 4 or 5 hours, I'm having a really good time. And thus far, I would recommend it. We'll see how.
I love that I can play on my desk for like 5-10 minutes just before a meeting or something, and then just
do a
pause,
couple checkpoints
and just stop.
Yeah.
You can just do it in bite-sized chunks like that. So it's really good for like people with families and stuff like that.
Also, the way the chainsaw was a classic weapon in the original Doom. The way it's implemented in this game is so good.
It's like the super
awesome.
weapon.
It's so good with limited amounts of gas. You have to gas
but
it
it's
up.
so great because it causes the enemy to spawn so much ammo. So it's like it's like a rinse repeat kind of thing where it's like you use all your gun's ammo and then you go crazy with the chainsaw, get all your ammo back. It's awesome. Love it.
So be curious to hear what everybody out there is thinking of Doom. Again, the IGN review is up. There are some reviews out there. We're liking it so far, and I'm hopefully by the time next week's show airs, I'll be done with it and can really kind of give my full personal take. All right. I wanted to add too that I was thinking about this with Jose on our trip. It's between Doom and Super Hot, which just came out for Xbox One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about two like super much needed breaths of fresh air for the first person shooter genre, right?
Super Hot is so awesome.
Yeah,
so
we were
great.
playing Super Hot like on PC back when it came out. It is great.
Yeah,
It is
The
a
game
really
just
cool
like came
shooter.
out and it's like our audience, I mean, they liked the videos and made, but I remember me and Destin, we played it for like 2 days straight. We're like this little game that you can beat in like 3 hours. I played that game for like 2 straight days. That game is
fun.
awesome.
Yeah. I really hope that we see more just mix-ups in the first-person shooter genre. Like, let's see some more cool ideas, like what these two games are bringing to the table.
Yeah.